So Nvidia just reported their first quarter of 2023, and I mean this is just insane. Look at these numbers, like 23% up after hours. You just have to give it to Jensen and the guys at Nvidia. I mean this is just absolutely abnormal, and I believe like this is actually the final nail in the coffin of Nvidia as a gaming company. From this day on, they are not a gaming company. They are a AI and HPC and server company. It's just cemented with the numbers we've seen. So all the numbers are not up, but just let's have a quick look. And actually before that, I mean the numbers are so good that even their main competitor AMD is up 7%, like 7% up for just because Nvidia is up. So this is absolutely crazy. So let's have a look at the numbers. We can see that the revenue up. The revenue is up to 7.2 billion. So it's like 19% up from the previous quarter. It's okay. I mean, it's not. This is not what's warranting the 20% up in the after hours. We will see that soon. So the record data center. This is now we're talking like this. Look at this, 4.228 billion US dollar in 1 quarter for the data center, and their data center revenue is basically twice the gaming revenue. I think they're speaking about it further down here. Yeah, look at this, like data center at 4.3 billion and the gaming at 2.25. So there's definitely twice of the size in data center compared to gaming, and the gaming is going not in the right direction. And I mean, for those of you guys who are also active in the gaming side, look at this. This is what Nvidia have been dealing with in last night. 24 hours ago, the worst review launch for any kind of gaming GPU hardware I've seen in like 5 years, 10 years maybe. This is even worse than AMD's Vega. I mean, look at this. The other like big YouTube channel, Gamers Nexus, and you could go on to Linux Tech Tips and all the other big YouTubers there. I mean, you can even see on the comment that these are just not good. I mean, look at this guy. He's even saying that can't wait for AMD to this is a joke actually. They are basically saying that even AMD is not doing that great in gaming, but that's for another day. So gaming side is not doing that good, but again, who cares when you have these kind of numbers? The data center is just going wild, and it's so much speak of AI. And then just have a quick look at the other side. So this one, pro visualization, I mean it's down 53% year on year, but it's not a big at this stage. It's not something that people should care about. The big two is data center and gaming, and actually you have to say that now it's clearly which one is gonna win. And for those of you and those of us who have been following Nvidia for the past couple of years, it's been just in the making. Like everyone has been aware that the way the company speaks, they are definitely aiming for the data center. This is where the big money is. And so with automotive, it's really good, 114% from last year. But I don't believe this is what's gonna be driving Nvidia forwards, and this is not what's have been giving these kind of numbers in after hours. So again, let's see if they have updated the full report yet. Just a moment. Not yet, but okay. So let's just have a quick look here. So you can also see that let's see here. Nvidia will pay dividend, something quite new, I guess. And the really interesting thing I was thinking of is actually these numbers: gross margin 64% and almost 70%, and the outlook. I mean, the outlook is just out of this world. I mean, look at this revenue, expected to be 11 billion for the second quarter of the year, which is not usually the best one. 11 billion, and most of us, I mean, given this review of the gaming side of Nvidia with the really awful review for the gaming, and the other two business segments of Provis and automotive that are not that big, I mean, you have to say that most probably a big chunk of those additional billions, I mean, we're going from 7 billion roughly to 11 billion, so those 4 additional billions it's probably, I would say, at the minimum 75% in data center, which would gives us Q2 of next Q2 coming up in a couple of months. I mean, probably 7 billion. And what would the gross margin be on that? I mean, they're saying that the gross margin will be roughly 70% on next quarter for the whole company. I mean, but you have to say, like, with the gross margin of the gaming side being much lower, what is the data center gross margin? It's like 80%, 85%. Could this go to 90? I don't know. Like, I mean, I'm speculating, but yeah, this is looking really good. But again, there's one thing to have really good performance here, and there's another thing to have a look at this number. I mean, 755 billion market cap as of before this. So let's just do some quick math here. So if you take the calculator and take 755 roughly times 1.23. Yeah, I mean, Nvidia as we speak is a 930 billion US dollar company. I mean, these guys are now knocking on the door for 1 trillion, and with the tomorrow and with the new analysis updates, probably this will soon go over 1 trillion. So given that, and given the still relative low earnings, I mean, yeah, I think this PE ratio will still be inflated. But again, I mean, if they can do these kind of increases from 7 billion to 11 billion in 1 quarter, I mean, considering that the generative AI that Nvidia speaks so highly about is growing at just below 40% every year in the coming decade. And then you have the accelerated computing market size, which is growing a bit slower, but I mean, it's still just under 25% also for roughly the next decade. And we have, again, this is the only bad take, is just, the gaming side won't be going anywhere anytime soon. But who cares again? Like, I mean, having these two numbers here for accelerated computing, this is your HPCs and all data centers, and then you have the generative AI applications, which they speak quite loudly about. Let's see if you get any control find generative. So I mean, look at it. So they are working with Dell, they are working with Microsoft. I think this is where Nvidia will see most of the growth. And I have to say, like, hats off to Jensen and everyone at Nvidia. These numbers are just so insanely good, especially I mean, in a normal case you would say that maybe some of the revenue increase in next quarter, that in the outlook that they are speaking about, that 11 billion, some of it would come from gaming, some of it would come from the other sides, which usually has much lower gross margin. But since we know that the gaming is really bad in the coming half a year at least, I mean, it has to be the data center side, and with those insanely high gross margins, who knows what the EPS is. But I mean, they could probably in that 1 billion quarter probably make as much as earnings per share as most of the last year. So just hats off to Nvidia, and let's see final time. I mean, they are going to the moon. I mean, 28%. Okay, so let's do this again. 755 billion US dollar times 1.28. I mean, this is a $1 trillion company as we speak. So make sure to follow me and like the video, and I will make sure to have a much more in-depth explanation about these earnings. So again, thank you so much for watching, and take care.